Popular Christchurch Zoo Orana Park has been hit with a raft of new allegations. Claims including understaffing, neglect and several animals' deaths are going unreported. More than 20 serving and former staff members have detailed several animal deaths, some of which had not previously been reported. An investigation revealed 2 giraffes died within 2 months of each other, one of which dislocated its neck. The other was a newborn found dead by employees in a neighbouring rhino enclosure the morning after reportedly arriving unexpectedly. Now, also has been outlined a gorilla's death by infection after pleas for treatment were ignored, and an otter also died after it got trapped in a pool suction pipe when the filter cap fell off. Staff at the Ministry of Primary Industries visited Orana yesterday to undertake what they called an initial and rapid assessment of conditions. However, a former volunteer at the park believes, despite the Christchurch City Council recently committing $1.5 million in funding for the wildlife park over 3 years, she says the cash was pointless when it did not guarantee the safety of the animals. She believes the best way forward is an outright closure, and that animals should be homed in other zoos and given the rehab that they need. Orana wildlife boss Lynn Anderson says the zoo has evidence that can discount the majority of the serious claims levelled at it about poor welfare of animals. So, zoos, they have long held a love or loathe view with the public. And for more on that, I'm joined by Neil Carr, who is Professor of the Department of Tourism at the University of Otago. Neil, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Now, thanks, Neil. And those listening might be thinking, hang on, I thought we were talking about zoos and now you're going to talk to someone about tourism. So can you explain your particular field?
Okay, so my field sits at the boundary, I guess, between human behaviour and animal behaviour in the leisure context, and zoos fit into that very nicely, of course, because we have the vast majority of people visiting zoos in their leisure time. And what do we have at zoos? A whole bunch of animals whose welfare is an integral concern of life in the 21st century, I hope.
Yeah, so, Neil, why do people go to the zoo?
So, the main reason, of course, is they go to have fun and relaxation. An increasing concern at the same time is we see families taking their children, schools taking children for educational purposes, which are very much learning around the importance not just of the animals but of their natural habitats. And then you get into the work that a number of zoos are doing around the world to varying extents of actually engaging in conservation, not just in entertainment.
Yeah. So, I mean, excuse me, Neil, I've come back from being quite sick. So I didn't ask you firstly, what do you have an opinion on, say, the likes of Orana Park? You don't have to, obviously, because you might not be up to speed with what's happening there, but what do you feel personally about zoos?
Well, I'm not going to speak about individual zoos, but I mean, if we were talking about an ideal world, then I would say zoos have no place in it.
Okay.
But we're not talking about an ideal world. We're talking about a world of ongoing habitat destruction, of killing of wildlife left, right, and centre. We see the number of endangered species increasing year on year, the number of species becoming extinct year on year, growing. We need mechanisms both to try and prevent and even turn back this destruction, and also somewhere we can actually, if you like to call it an ark, where we can actually preserve bits while we don't have this ideal world. So I don't see zoos as the perfect solution, because I think in an ideal world they wouldn't be needed. But while we don't live in that ideal world, good quality zoos can help